Nick here from Tabletop Duo with more Dark Souls the board game content for you. And today we have the unboxing and the review of the Last Giant Mega Boss, showing all the components, talking about what we liked and what we disliked, which is something very important in this case for this expansion. And also check the miniatures and talk a little bit about what makes this Mega Boss unique versus the other Mega Bosses in the game. I would like to also give a shout out to Ondra, one of our viewers, who gifted us this one, the Vort, and also the Gaping Dragon Mega Boss expansions for Christmas. So thanks a lot, my friend, and I hope you're enjoying these videos as well as the painting guide that Mariana will do. So as usual, let's start with the unboxing. And here it is. So we're gonna start by removing the shrink wrap. Okay, so on the front cover we have a concept art of the Last Giant. On the sides we have another concept art of the Last Giant. So this expansion comes with the miniature, the health, data and behavior cards, 2 new treasure cards, 4 level 4 encounter cards, the Mega Boss game board and 1 rules insert. Alright, so let's open it up. Okay, so as usual, we have the rules insert first. Then we have the Mega Boss board. So on one side it's the Mega Boss board. And on the other side is the level 4 encounter board. Then the next thing we see is the Last Giant dial. So let's assemble it. And this is how it looks like. And the Last Giant has 44 health points and it heats up at 18. Now for the cards. On this pack of cards we have the data card and then the same data card in the other 4 languages, so German, Spanish, French and Italian. Then we have the behavior cards. I have 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. This boss I think has a new mechanic, so we'll see that on the review. But I see new icons here, and then we have also the heat up ones and the falling slam, which also have a different icon. And then we have the 4 level 4 encounter cards. So here as usual we have 2 that are just for Dark Souls, the base game. Then we have 1 for Dark Root and 1 for Explorers and Iron Key. Now for the treasures, 2 new treasures, Giant Stone Axe and Soldier Key. And then you have the Soldier Key on the other languages as well. And finally the miniature. That's a really nice miniature, just like in the game. Now let's go for the review. So as usual, the board game expansion comes with a double-sided board. And on the side you have the level 4 encounter, which is a harder version of a level 3 encounter with many enemies, and I recorded this small video for you to see like what level 4 encounter looks like. They are supposed to be played before you fight the Mega Boss, and some of the encounter setup cards use the other Dark Souls expansions that add new enemies like the Explorers, Iron Keep and the Dark Root. Then when you flip the board, you go to the Mega Boss encounter, which is this one, and it's quite a small Mega Boss board. Not the biggest one we have seen so far. And it's also themed after the room you fight the Last Giant on Dark Souls 2. The Last Giant miniature is super detailed. Actually, it's as tall as the Manus Mega Boss miniature, and you can also see this video with a comparison between other Mega Bosses as well. The base is not that big, and if you compare with some other miniatures, like for example Artorias, you can see has similar size. In terms of gameplay, this boss has 2 attack types. The standard one and the ones that use the arms, represented by this icon. The deck is composed of a mix between the 2, and the attacks are mainly focused on pushback with damage or physical attacks within one node. The attacks usually have a dodge difficulty of 2, and they deal between 5 and 6 damage. The arm attacks have the wind-up behavior, which allows players to reposition before the attack, which kind of neutralizes most of these attacks. So in terms of dynamics, this boss is quite weak. But the main problem for me is that it has 3 physical and 3 magical damage resistance and also 44 health points, so you should be expecting a long battle. When the boss heats up, you replace all of its arm attacks with heat up attacks, which are also physical and have a range of 2. They tend to be more dangerous, dealing between 6 and 7 damage, and some have the repeat icon, dealing double the amount. But because all the heat up cards have the wind up behavior, again, it's not that difficult to move away. And from time to time, the boss will also use the Falling Slam, which is a 9 damage leap attack, but it's easy to dodge with a dodge difficulty of 1. So that summarizes the components and how they play. So now let's go for the 3 things we like and the 3 things we didn't like about the expansion. But before that, if you're new to Tabletop Duo, we do review and unboxing of your favorite board games like this one, and how to play videos as well. So if you're new to our channel, consider subscribing and don't forget to hit the notification button so you get an update whenever a new video comes out. Starting with the things we liked about this mega boss, the first one is the miniature. So the miniature is like super detailed and it's quite tall, which gives a feeling that you're fighting like a powerful and epic boss in the game. The second thing we liked is the fact that the level 4 encounters support all the 3 expansions that bring new miniatures to the game. Because in other mega bosses, they sometimes support 1 or 2, so you might not have the expansion that is supported. So you won't be able to use the level 4 encounters in their full potential. And the third thing we liked is the curated campaign called Footsteps of the Giants that comes with the expansion. It has 5 sessions where you'll be fighting the Titanite Demon, Sif, Artorias, and finally the last giant. So expect a campaign that will last a while. Now for the things we didn't like, and this time I will summarize all the 3 things in just one, which is the behavior deck. So this boss is quite underwhelming in terms of combat dynamics, damage, and the tricks on its sleeve. So if it didn't have 44 health points, nor 3 physical and magical resistance, the encounter would be quite quick to finish and very underwhelming. The last giant in Dark Souls 2 is also not that great, but I was expecting this one would come up with a little bit of more interesting mechanics. So if you're interested to buy the last giant, my advice to you is be careful with your expectations and take this mega boss as maybe one of the weaker ones. Oh, and actually I remembered about another point, which is not that great and I forgot to mention, which are the treasures that you gain when you defeat the boss. So the soldier key looks quite useless because once you use it, you have to discard the item. And although it allows you to switch an encounter with another random encounter of the same level, by the time you have discard, you are so powerful that the chances you want to do that, they're gonna be very small, right? And then you have the giant stone axe, which is a 2-handed weapon, but doesn't do a lot of damage, and its secondary attack drains a lot of stamina. So there are definitely better weapons you could use in the game. So that's it for today's unboxing and review. Thanks for watching and see you next time.